Let me ask you something that I feel like is on everybody's mind in crypto, and that's that, the first time ever, crypto is an election issue. So you live in the US, Cardano operates around the world, but the US is a big market. Donald Trump seems to be a lot more crypto friendly than Joe Biden. How would crypto in the US look like in a Trump presidency versus a Biden presidency? How big of a difference is there? In what ways? I'm not asking you to endorse anybody. I'm just asking you to help us understand the difference.
Yeah, this is the first election since Grover Cleveland versus Benjamin Harrison, where two U.S. presidents are running against each other. Trump was president for 4 years and Biden was president for 4 years. The Trump administration wasn't particularly pro-crypto, but they weren't particularly anti-crypto. Crypto wasn't large enough for it to reach that level. So while the Treasury Secretary was anti-crypto, Trump himself was ambivalent. Now, lots happened in 4 years. Crypto's gone through a mega bull cycle, and it's gotten to a point where it's definitely an issue on everybody's tongue. And the differences between the two candidates couldn't be more clear. In the case of Trump, he figured out how to make money from crypto. And there's one axiom about Trump: honesty flows from economics. So because he can make money from it, it's always going to be part of his shtick, and he's raising lots of crypto money, and he's doing NFTs, and Truth Social at some point will be a crypto haven. Biden and has spent the last 4 years conducting a systematic war on crypto, and anybody who tells you otherwise is a partisan who's being dishonest. It's objectively true. All the major exchanges have received Wells notices. Major projects have received Wells notices. Choke point 2.0 is underway where people are being deplatformed and debanked. Anti-clarity has come in where things like Ethereum not being security has apparently been reversed, even though the SEC was the one who declared it in the first place. And attempts to legislate have been curtailed. Like, for example, when the Senate overwhelmingly in a bipartisan fashion tried to repeal SAB 121, the president vetoed it. His own administration has written numerous reports basically calling crypto snake oil and has no use or utility. These are just facts. And I'm sorry if you're a Democrat and people want to vote for Biden. Maybe you want to vote for him for a different issue and you love his policy, but you have to acknowledge and concede that he's outsourced his policy to Elizabeth Warren. And what she's decided to do is staff the Treasury Department with people who basically want to kill crypto in the United States. So we as an industry have some hard choices because a lot of our people in our industry are young and are not Republican and are not right wing. And so they don't want to vote for Trump and they don't want to vote for a conservative option, which is why you notice there's a lot of pro crypto people, myself included, who are going to Robert Kennedy in this particular election. And I actually met with Robert Kennedy down in Austin, Texas. And I've never in my life met a political candidate who has such a raw curiosity and intellect for issues and also such a great legacy. For example, when I mentioned the Securities Exchange Act of 1933, he's like, "Yeah, my grandfather wrote it. It was the first commissioner." It's like, "Yeah, okay, that's a pretty good legacy." And he's had a front row seat to American politics since 1961 at the highest level because his uncle was the president and his dad almost became the president, but just got shot. So obviously, that's a good thing to have some diversity there. But unfortunately, Biden is not going to give us anything, and it has become an issue because at least 53 million Americans own cryptocurrency, the majority young, the majority Democrat, which translates to if you're taking money out of their pocket and hurting their gains, them saying, "Hang on a second here, Joe Biden just hurt my portfolio." You, as a political candidate, an election probably decided by less than 3% of the vote, don't want to be in a situation where you just alienated 53 million people arbitrarily and capriciously for the benefit of large financial institutions, not for the common man. So this is definitely an issue. And Biden's trying to moderate a little bit, but he just can't help himself. Had he moderated, he should have allowed SAB 121's repeal to go through. Instead, he vetoed it. Had he moderated a little bit, he could call for the resignation of Chairman Gensler. Had he moderated a little bit, he could have looked at the passage of FIT 21 with 70 plus Democrats voting on it as a opportunity to work with the Republicans in the Senate to basically pass comprehensive crypto reform. And as an industry, we'd been very happy because it would have created complete clarity on what is a commodity and what is a security and how the CFTC and the SEC are going to work together to handle that. 60 plus major cryptocurrency companies got together to support Fit 21. Instead, he refuses to work with them. And instead, he wants to continue the legislation through enforcement and the anti clarity and also the dishonesty of things. Like, for example, saying, come in and register. Well, Coinbase tried to do that for 2 years and had broker dealer licenses. Not only were they not allowed to do that as a publicly traded company, they got sued. That's just the most dishonesty you can bring in when you say as your talking points, this is an issue of non-compliance, when everybody actually knows there is no way to comply by design. It's a Kafka-esque regulation through enforcement policy, and this is 100% owned by the Biden administration. Trump did not do this. There were some edge cases in here and there, like the Hinman case or the suit of Ripple, but those were more one-offs of particular small power structures, but there was not an all-of-government approach where the goal was to kill crypto. And when people go in November, you have to really ask yourself what matters to you. If you believe cryptocurrency and blockchain is going to be formative in the economic, political, and social systems of America and part of the antidote to get us out of this, then vote that way. If you don't care about these things, then do understand a vote for Biden is a vote for the death of the American cryptocurrency industry. And it's deeply personal to me, not just because I'm a cryptocurrency entrepreneur, but because I got a letter a little while ago from the Swiss government inviting me to a 10-year anniversary to the founding of Ethereum. And the letter, the second page of it kind of broke my heart a little bit. It was very bittersweet. They mentioned that since we formed Ethereum in Switzerland, 1,290 businesses, cryptocurrency businesses, were formed there. And the total value of those businesses is over $380 billion. So when you think about that, you ask yourself, how many of those businesses would be formed in the United States of America had we had regulatory clarity? How much of jobs were created? And that's just Switzerland, not Singapore, not Abu Dhabi, not Dubai. You're probably looking at over $1 trillion of value, hundreds of thousands of jobs, and tens of thousands of businesses over the next 5 or 10 years. And what that would translate to is improving not only the GDP of America, but also helping us pay off our national debt and make our money better and these types of things. By seeding all of that, that's basically like saying, take Microsoft, Google, and Apple and Tesla and just go put them all in Germany or go put them all in Abu Dhabi or something like that. How many times can we do that as a country before we go bankrupt? How many revolutions can we miss out on before America collapses as a nation state? So that's the real life consequence of this policy. It's not number go up or number go down, or Bitcoin's not going to do as well, or Ethereum's not going to do as well. It translates to we as a country have higher unemployment. We as a country have less jobs. We as a country have less economic competitiveness. And ultimately, we collapse as a country if we keep doing this. And this is directly at the feet of the Biden administration. And they have shown no desire to work with our industry. It's anti-desire. So come November, do understand that these elections do have consequences. And my recommendation is choose a candidate who's pro-crypto at every level, from the local to the federal. And it doesn't have to be a Republican. It can be a third party. Any vote outside of this is expressing your interest in that respect.
You got to get out there and vote. This year is hugely important.
Be sure to click subscribe. We drop a video every single day keeping you informed about crypto.